Carmelo Anthony.
Carmelo Anthony.
Carmelo Anthony.
Carmelo Anthony.
Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony.
Carmelo Anthony.
Carmelo Anthony.
Carmelo Anthony.
Carmelo Anthony.
He's a Knick. After months of wrangling and waiting and scheming and positioning and hoping and rope-a-doping and leaking and projecting,
The Knicks are back.
Amari Stoudemire today saying the Knicks will be hard to guard with Carmelo Anthony joining him.
This is Sports Nation, the show that wishes it had New York Knicks season tickets.
Can you imagine if 2 years ago we just bought something?
You had me at Melo.
Front page story is the Knicks get their man.
Something had to be done, but the melodrama had gone on long enough.
It's the blockbuster that's turned New York into a basketball town again.
Can they win it?
They have a better chance of winning it now.
Can they win it?
They have a better chance of winning it now.
Can they win it?
Do you buy that the Knicks will win a title?
For the Knicks, was this trade pretty good, very good, or steal of the century?
Most importantly, how they were going to win together.
A championship is coming in a couple of years.
At the mecca of basketball, Madison Square Garden.
He loves it. He wants to play in New York.
Who wouldn't want to go back home to play?
How you doing? I'm Kenny Carter. I'm the sports journalist for the New York Knicks trade. As of right now, we see that Carmelo Anthony is a New York Knick. Finally, all you Knicks fans out there, it's been a while. I know it's been a long months of waiting. Carmelo Anthony is a Knick. The trade involved a three-way team trade. It involved trade from Denver to New York and also Minnesota Timberwolves. So the trade went down like this.
The Knicks get Anthony, point guard Chauncey Billups, Sheldon Williams, Anthony Carter, and former Knick, now going back to the Knicks, Renaldo Balkman. The Denver Nuggets will get Danilo Gallinari, Raymond Felton, Wilson Chandler, three starters. Timofey Mozgov also has been starting lately for the Knicks. So 4 Knicks starters, a first-round pick coming from the Warriors, 2 second-round picks, and $3 million in cash. Our J.A. Donde has tweeted, this is a great deal for the Denver Nuggets.
So, turns out that New York will get, in the 3-part trade deal between the Denver Nuggets, the New York Knicks, and the Minnesota Timberwolves, seeing that the Knicks will get, out of the 3-part trade deal, the Knicks will get Carmelo Anthony, Chauncey Billups, Anthony Carter, Sheldon Williams, and Randall Balkman. So that's part of the Knicks deal right there. Denver will get Danilo Gallinari, they will get Raymond Felton, they will get Wilson Chandler, they will get Timofey Mozgov, and also the Denver Nuggets will get a first-round pick, 2 second-round picks, and $3 million in cash. Sounds like a pretty good deal for Denver as well. And the Minnesota Timberwolves will get Anthony Randolph and will get Eddie Curry from the New York Knicks. So we got ourselves a 3-part trade deal. Seems like every team kind of benefits in this deal. So the question is, which team will benefit the most? Will be New York Knicks, which is highly expected, the Denver Nuggets, or maybe the Minnesota Timberwolves. We don't know what can happen. Who knows? But most fans are saying, expecting right now Denver to just plummet all the way down and expecting the New York Knicks to rise up. So there you go. We have the 3-part trade deal right there between the New York Knicks and Denver Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, we're going to go over this salary cap we have right now. As of right now, we have a salary cap between the Knicks and the Denver. So on the next slide, I'm going to show you guys how the trade went down.
what we've started with is the 2 principal teams. It shows their payroll at $84 million for the Nuggets, which means they're over the cap. The Knicks are similarly over the cap, and then you look at the players listed high to low in salary. And we'll start with Carmelo Anthony, who they desire in New York, along with Chauncey Billups. It's been reported, and we know the other players are further down the roster here, where you've got Renaldo Balkman, Anthony Carter, and Mr. Williams. Now, they're all going to go to New York. The target players coming back to Denver are Raymond Felton, Mr. Mozgov, the Russian, Danilo Gallinari, who they really wanted, and Wilson Chandler. So that's really what we're talking about for the core deal. Now let's give it a try on the trade machine and see if this trade would work itself. It doesn't. The trade fails. And the reason the trade fails is because the Knicks are bringing back $33 million, and they're over the cap. In order to absorb that money, they need to offload a lot more than the $16 million than they're offloading. So that's when they go to adjust the trade, and Donnie Walsh calls a third team, and he called Minnesota. The reason he called Minnesota, Their payroll is only $46 million. They have $12 million in cap room. That's key, because what they can do with that $12 million is absorb this big contract of Eddie Curry, and what they really want is Anthony Randolph down here. That's the target player for Minnesota. Now, to make this work, they take back the final player in the deal. Corey Brewer goes to New York. Now let's come back up and let's try this trade again, the three-way trade, and now it's green and it works. And what's important here is what they delivered to the Nuggets. The Nuggets, with that $84 million, were into the luxury tax by $14 million. They're only bringing back now $16 million because the rest of that money came over here to Minnesota. The net benefit to them in this trade is about $25 million on this year's salary.
Real money.
Real money, even in the NBA. So that's why three-team deals make sense. They move that money and they make it all work, and Denver gets young assets, draft picks, and about $25 million for this year.
I'm Kenny Carney, sports journalism. Thanks for watching.